mean, they are quite tough to handle.
On this top, much bigger. That's how we like it.
Hello, welcome to Fishing Squad. We're on my own today. Episode 10 of the species hunt. It's the first time I've been fishing for about 6 to 7 weeks, possibly. Just on the way down to the mark now. I'm going to fish a deep water rock mark today, sorry. I'm just looking down at the water, I'm not kidding you. It is absolutely crystal clear. It is back to how it was last year, which it does it every year obviously, but it's just really nice to see. You can see down several feet, so it's just really pleasing that we're getting back to that time of year where get the summer species and what have you. There's a couple of walkers up here and didn't think I'm off my nut, probably talking. I'll probably think I'm talking to myself. So plan is today I'm going to fish it 3 hours in with spinning for mackerel and having a wrasse rod out with some fresh blacks that we bought from D-side Tackle at Shotton, just near Queen's Ferry there off the A55. Big shout out to them. I bought 4 wraps last night, ready for today's session, or this afternoon, going into evening session. So I'm going to fish like that to start with, so we can get some fresh bait, mackerel maybe, pollock possibly, likely. Let's see how we get on, and if we get any pouting or porcod on the lug, we may keep them for bait as well. Low tide's at 11 o'clock, we'll probably bang 2 big baits out towards the back end of the session for taupe, huss, congers, or whatever we want at taupe, or maybe a ling would be a good one for species hunt. So I've got some bullet tuna and some squid as well for the big baits. Just can't wait to get down. It's been a long time since I went line. I've been very busy with work and kids and one thing and another. It's just nice. Got a lovely day, lovely blue clear skies. It's going to be a light northerly that we'll be sheltered from, so I could be in a t-shirt, but I've got that much stuff in my bag I just haven't got room. So yeah, we get down, get sorted. Hopefully I can give you some decent footage today with settled conditions. I've got the camera tripod. I do try, so sometimes I do get lazy with it because I just like to get the fish in, get them landed. But we'll see how we get on. If we can get the tripod down at the water level, near the water level, comfortably, then the footage is going to be miles better. I have the camera at the side of the tripod, so to speak. So yeah, it's just one of the challenges of rock fishing, I think, getting decent footage as well as catching fish at the same time. So we'll just see how we get on. I'm confident that we'll get ballon wrasse. I'm after a cuckoo wrasse. You look at the clarity of the water, the sort of conditions we've got today, it's perfect for wrasse fishing. So I've got quality bait for wrasse, nice fresh black lug. I'm just going to fish a simple paternoster style rig with a single hook, size 2. And a small pieces of worm, probably just lobbed out. We'll see how we get on. I just can't wait to get down there. So we'll see enough chat and we'll see you at the mark. Right, I'm down. There's a bit of a west in this. It's like coming straight in at me a little bit. Well, to my right, sort of thing. I'm just tackling a rod up. I've got a BZ7 with a new reel. It's a Yuki Star Surf, loaded with 25 pound mainline, 60 pound lead. This is what I'm just going to put the wrasse rig on for now. Later on, this will be upgraded to a taupe rig. Let's see if we can cast a bit better with a thick spool on with a big bait on. I've got my Tronics Pro Gorilla Surf rod in my bag, and the Slosh 30 for later on as well. Just going to tackle this up. It's just going to have a simple back paternoster style rig on, I suppose. I'll go get it. I'll get the bait. I'll show you, and then I'll give you a spin round, and I'll show you what the water looks like. You can see how blue it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'll also try and tinker about with camera as the session goes, so you can see a bit more what's actually happening, you know, more in terms of tackle and what have you, and get a sense of the session, you'll get a feel for it. It's not the biggest of tides. Usually on the mark and fishing today, you won't really want to be on it at high tide, but it's because it's a small tide, I'll be totally fine. It's better for landing fish, you don't need to use longer leaders, because you're at the water level almost. Possibly should check the wind though, thinking about it. It's one last check. I haven't checked it since yesterday. But if we have to move, we'll move, it'll be fine. I fish this mark enough, you know, to know when it's what's safe and what's not safe. 2 hours at flood now, and I expect when the tide turns to go out, this little bit of breeze will drop off anyway. That's what it usually does. If it doesn't, I'll move round where I can fish a bit higher up. Well, actually, if need be, I can fish above me. You've seen me with my dad's. It's the mark. If you watch the videos when I fished with my dad, when he was below me and I went below to land fish and what have you, I'm on the lower ledge basically, and it's mint for landing decent fish off, especially when you're on your own. You know, you get close to water and what have you. There's loads of like flat bits to beach fish as well. So enough chat. I'm going to get this rig sorted out. I'll show you what I'm using for bait. I'll show you roughly where I'm casting, so to speak. I've got a gully in front of me here. I caught my first fish out of this gully back in, I think it was about 1990. On the float, pollock on limpet. It's done me a lot of good fish, this spot. It's my favourite spot. I just love it, and yeah, let's get cracked on. I'm struggling a bit, guys, with camera angle. I've spun it round now. I'll put you below where the tripod is. Yeah, you can see me better there. Right, so the rig, it's a £60 body with just like a flapper rig style snoot trapped between beads with a swivel. £20 mono hook length, size 2 hook. It's just a cheap Fladden hook that. I've got some black lug here now. Let's see what sort of. I'm expecting quite fast action, so I'm just going to get a black lug, break it in two, and use them in halves, because you want quite a big bait, or even on a small hook, but at the same time, I think it'll get pecked at quite rapidly to start with. I'm just going to put that on. I'm just going to literally lob it. I'll show you where I'm going to cast to in a minute when I've cast it out. We'll cast it out. First cast with new reel as well, so just bear with me. I've got quite a lot of kelp on this right hand side of us because there's a cliff face. I'm just going to give it a gentle lob. I'm not aiming to break any. I'm not going to break any casting knuckles anyway. It's me casting out, isn't it? 6 ounce lead plus the tides coming in, it'll stop it getting rolled around. I'd use like a 3 or a 4. I won't even use a gripper usually, but truthfully, I'll start using some old grip leads. It's the best way forward. Right, I'm going to spin you around now and I'll show you the area I'm fishing into. Just give me a sec. I'm just fishing into this area here. This gully, I'm just on the entrance of this gully. And this gully is where I've had my wrasse. Well, I've had wrasse, pollock, PB wrasse. A long time ago now. I'm expecting fast action, to be honest with you. But we'll see, won't we? But look how clear the water is. We're going to use this gully as a means to catch wrasse and small species. We're just outside at Flat Rock here. This is my flat rock that I catch fish off all my life. Just pan round. Beautiful sea. You can see how clear it is, the water. Perfect for wrasse, really. I think we'll just keep going. What we're going to do is we're going to spin to start with another similar type of rod that's probably more flexible to spin you around. I'm getting a bite already, actually. I'm going to get a few bits sorted out and then we'll see how we get on. Let's see how this, because I'm getting a bite. Just wait. Yeah, I did have a bite on that first bait up then. I reeled in. Didn't quite know anything on it, but I think the fish has grabbed it up way up. No, as I've lifted my line, as I've lifted my rig in, it come off, whatever it was. I think it might have just been a pollock, you know, grabbing the worm on the retrieve, if you like. I don't know if you can see it, rod tip. Let's have a look. See if you can see the rod tip. Yeah, you can see it, rod. Let's just see. Just, got a bit of tide running to the left. Sometimes it's worth just holding rod. Just like I say, should be instant action today. It has been so far. I think it worth a pollock, like I say. I'll just chop the worm up a bit as well. Put the rest of that worm off. struck and there was nothing there. Then when I reeled it, when I got up to the top, something went bang. I'll bring you back if anything happens. I'm just going to get the feathering rod tackled up. It's perfect conditions for fish spinning. Well, 3 casting with feathers. I've got 2 mackerel, ones here, one's in the rock pool there. That is a fantastic start. Not much else happened on the other rod. I had a couple of nibbly bites, but what a start. 1 foot species on one of the least expected ones really. I think the earliest I've had them's either, I think I might have had them on the 1st. I've definitely had them on the 9th. I think I've had them on the 1st of May, just 1. To get 2 at this time of year. Is Mr. Tope available today, please? That is a cracking start. I was just thinking, spin you round. I was just thinking, missed the fish on the other rod when I reeled in and it let go. I'm getting bites on that now. I'm gonna have to go hit this. Just wait there. Yeah, nothing happened on that. I've just reel it in and cast it back out again. It's about 3 or 4 bites I've had on that, and I haven't even caught anything. Just wait there. I don't know what that is. If anyone knows what AE lock is on an iPhone, I don't know. Right, yeah, cracking 2 mackerel on 3rd cast. I'm just watching people, guys. They don't understand what the hell they're bloody doing. Right, I've just seen 2 people come past in a dinghy, right? On this mark, if you know where it is, there's a section where you get a real rip up. And at this stage of tide, trying to paddle back against it, you're having a laugh. Absolutely having a laugh. I've just seen 2 people on a dinghy get caught out in it, and now there's 2 people kayaking. They're going to get caught out here. They're just paddling against... it's really bright, isn't it? Paddling against current. Hope they're alright. As you can see out there, there's 2 kayakers. They can't get back against this current that's coming this way. Hopefully there's a boat coming. I think it'll save them out, I guess, help them out. But literally, they are, just wait there. They're not even moving foot, they're just treading water. I'm hoping this boat that's coming across will save them. We'll keep an eye on that. I hope that they don't want to tire themselves out in that current, because just to demonstrate what it's like if you fell in, you know what I mean? I really do hope they're alright. I truly mean that. I truly mean that. A dinghy come past earlier with a little engine on, and it got stuck in it as well. It literally, the boat just stopped. If it's a warning and an eye-opener to like going out on craft, especially at high tide around here, when tide's coming in. But you know, the only real time you can get in water off here with something low power is over low, or even swimming over low on a flat calm day. You know, these are going to struggle. They're going to have to be shouting this boat for some help, I think, because they're going to end up tiring themselves out against the current. So see how we get on. See how this session goes out. This boat's coming now. They seem to have made some progress though. They seem to be coming closer to the shoreline. So I'm hoping they get sorted. But yeah, a dinghy come past, a little dinghy, you know, where the drop back of it. The sib just stopped dead, but luckily the engine he had on it just powered him through, but it was close. It took him a while. The engine would have stopped dead. I thought he would have just anchoring up or something. It's just how the sea can just catch you out. It's put me off getting a kayak. I'm thinking about getting a kayak and going out on it. Sack that off. No fishing. Sack that off. There's no point in getting any watercraft, is there, unless you know you're going to get out, you know, a distance. I'll see if they're alright, because they're coming closer in now, so I'm hoping they are okay. Species number 2 is a pollock. Just bringing him in now. I'm just going to knock camera off. That's species number 2 for the day. This is a good thing when it's calm as well. You can just walk the back like that. Down he goes, no problem. That's 2 species in about an hour. Didn't give me a bite. The kayakers have managed to get sorted. He did say he's just messing about, but he didn't look like he was messing about to me. They managed to come closer in against the current. I think the current must have slackened off. And then he actually fell off the kayak. And he says, no, we were just messing about. I'm not convinced. I know what that current tow's like. But anyway, the main thing is they're alright. Put it this way, the boat stopped to ask if they're okay. Yeah, I think there might be more to this than what we're making out, to be fair. But, you know, if you're in danger at sea and there's a fisherman on rocks, don't feel scared to shout. Don't be tiring yourself out on a kayak or whatever, you know. That's the boat, just checking they're alright. So the cast with feathers, it's a full house of swallow. Might keep the biggest one. Some fresh bait. Well, actually, I've got 4 out of 5. We're going to put back, and like I say, I might keep one just for a bit extra fresh bait. I decided to release them pollock. What my plan is, I'm going to have a few more casts for mackerel. If we don't get any more, I will keep some. We'll get some more later in the session. No pollock. If we don't get any more mackerel. I am thinking about putting a big bait out earlier than what I said, because I can just put it to one side and forget about it. You know what I mean? I put half one of the mackerel, a bit of squid strap to it. We'll see. I'm getting action all the time on worm. I'm just not connecting with anything at the moment. I'm just going to spend a bit more time, for the next 20 minutes I'm just going to have a bit more time with this rod. Just to see if it's a case of, you know, hitting on the bite, you know, on striking on the bite rather than letting it develop. It can be like that with rascals to nibble, don't they? We'll see. Well, I'm having a right good time so far. I was thinking before the mackerel hit, it's been a bit slow with this. I've had a few bites and missed, and then about third casting with feathers, I got 2 mackerel, which it's the third earliest I think that I've had them. I'm happy with that. You know, it's a positive sign for what's to come, and I'll not look back to today. I'll look back to today as being the start of the mackerel season this year. I think last year I had to wait till June, so. But it's not through a lack of. It's more or less my own fault that I had to wait till June, I think. But it's a positive sign, and I'm sure now we might get some more, we might not today, I don't know. You know, sometimes you'll get them like that at this time of year and then you don't get anything for the rest of the session. But we'll see. I think the tide started ebbing now as well. It's about dropped down about a couple of foot, so. I thought we had pretty much a lot of flood left when I first got down, but it don't look that way. I didn't check what time high tide was. I just went up to the low tide. Low tide's about 7 minutes past 11, so. Well, I'm just happy with the start we've made. You know, what a start, really. I wasn't confident of mackerel, but when I saw the clarity of the water, I thought it's definitely worth having a go. Just put a fresh bait on the wrasse rig. I had a bite on it, this bait up, just waiting now. Like I say, I'm going to spend 20 minutes with this rod. I'll probably have another bait up and see what happens, and then if it's just a case of biting on strike, if you like, so be it. The kayakers are still on this corner here, so maybe they were messing about, but I was stood here on these rocks and they were trying to fight back against the current, and they didn't move a foot. They were fighting back that way, and they stayed in line with the whole time. The boat was obviously concerned, so, but they should be all right now, because as the tide ebbs, well, there will be a section where it does tow through like a train. If they slow out there when that happens, there might not be. But I'd imagine, yeah, they'll not be here at 9 o'clock at night, so I'd imagine they'll probably be all right. But they looked like they were struggling, and he got knocked off it. He got knocked off the kayak, and I thought, bloody hell, rather you than me, son. But it's just a warning, isn't it? Just to realise you've got to respect the water, and don't be naive about what watercraft you go out on or buy. Get double what you need, I'd say. I'm no expert on that, so yeah, we'll get cracked on with this session. I'll have another bait up with this rod and we'll see what happens. Number 4, not bad. Get them put back. Once foul looks in the tail, I'll put them back though. Not bad. Another 3, get them put back. That bottom one's slightly bigger stamp than the rest. Get them put back and have another go. Come on, repeat, another 3. Right guys, I've just moved the rod just to the left of where we were fishing. We're on the same spot, but I've just moved it about 10 yards to the left. It's a bit more kelp here. I'm hoping it makes a difference. I didn't have had any more bites on this wrasse rod. Obviously you've seen I've caught a lot of pollock on the feathers. Just going to line a bit of line in. Just see. I'm getting a lot of action on it, but just nothing on when I've been reeling in. It did go quiet on the last bait, I have to say, so I moved just round the rock face a little bit. Yeah, it's got a bit quiet on it. I'm going to have a few more casts with feathers, and then we'll see what happens. It might be foot mackerel, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm getting pollock at range, so I'm just going to stand more in you. It's trouble with rocks, you just can't get a comfortable, you know what I mean? Spend more time messing about with camera, which obviously if you've got a YouTube channel you're supposed to do that, Carl. So yeah, we'll just see. The last cuckoo wrasse I had my rod here. You notice I'm using a piece of it's like reinforced concrete that's been welded up. You know, reinforcing bark goes through concrete. It's an old school rod rest basically we used to use. It's easier to carry than a second tripod. I've got a tripod obviously for big baits later. This is going to be left out. This is going to be purposely used for the small baits. Yeah, the last cuckoo wrasse I had was here, off this section. You know, I was fishing just there. I've moved what, 15 yards to the left of where I was fishing before. So we're not at the gully now. We're round slightly. So we've got a few casts with the feathers now, and see if we can winkle a couple of mackerel. I've kept one of them pollock. I was thinking about fresh bait and stuff, bulking the baits out. I'm going to be down here for a long time, so I did have a few dodgy comments on my channel about keeping fish, but it's wasted on me saying that. As long as they're in size, you're wasting your time basically. You're fishermen, so it is what it is. I'm not a trawler, am I? I've got the choice of what I catch, what I keep, what I use, when I use it, how I use it, if I want to eat it, whether I want to use it for bait. And at the end of the day, all we're doing really is speeding food chain up a bit, aren't we? So see if anything else happens. I hope to get some more species out there. Struggling at the minute, it's gone quiet again in terms of species. I've only had one species on. I've already had pollock, so let's get a few more casts in with feathers, see how we get on. That's another 5. So yeah, I'm going to get them one up to get them put back. How many have I had? I've had 20 odd like. I'm filming them also on how many I've caught. The top one's quite alright. Let's get them put back. That top one, let's give you an insight of how big he is. I'm just going to bring him down to the water's edge. I've just got him in gill. Just going to give him a bit of water. Because the others have gone back and I've just kept him to one side. Right, let's give you an insight of how big he is. He's a good £1.5. And that on feathers with 4 other fish. I'll spin you around. Well, on feathers with that 4 other fish, it's quite heavy. I'll just spin you around so you can see him some more. So he's here, I'm nearly getting wet. Going. Nearly getting swept in, never mind wet. But I'll tell you what, that water's nice and cool. Just put my hands in it, I release that fish. It's every cast, just full house of pollock or getting hit and missed. They had to drag me into kelp then. You can imagine, can't you, get 1 on, you get 5 on and they all swim in different directions trying to get off. It's good sport though. That's why I fish with a beach cast, a £20 line. A 3-arm sled, because you're just not mucking about, are you? You use a spinning rod down here with a string full of feathers on. You get 5 on, all on to get them out, lift them up the rock face and stuff. So if I were using a spinning rod, I'd just use a single Dexter wedge or something like that. Right, I'll have a few more casts. I'll rebait the wrasse rod, then I might think about putting a big bait out. I just put a tote bait out on the rod on this side. Slosh 30. Once Pro Surf. half fresh mackerel with squid. Well, it's a third of a fresh mackerel with squid attached to it. 800 Shaughnessy, simple soap rig. See what happens. I did catch a few more pollock off camera. Just got sick of catching them basically. I won't go for a lot on camera. I think I caught 3 more. I did. Sorry. I might have a few more casts though. Still might get some more mackerel yet. You never know. Nothing's happened on the wrasse rig. I'm going to put a bigger bait on this rod. Experiment with a fixed spool reel. I've got some coasters, but I haven't got anything to go underneath them, so I don't really fancy winching onto the deco of the rod, so I might get that a this low in the reel. We'll see. But I will do. I'll see if I find some tape in my bag. Plan would be, really, as the side ebbs off, get on the flat rock with the tripod, sort of set up here, have the rods here, the camera tripod there, the fishing rod tripod here, and just film the evening session, but it just depends if it drops off quick enough. It's not the massive biggest of tides today, it's not the smallest, but it's not really average either, it's below average, or middle tide, it's below a mid-range tide, so see what happens. Always put your reels in run. I've got them both in run, so don't lose any rods, and see what happens. I just want to hear that ratchet screaming on this one. I'm going to put another bait on here for the wrasse and see how we get on. 2 rods out on big baits now. Got a mixture on one of mackerel, bullet tuna and squid. Mackerel and squid on the other one. Bigger bait on the left and one on the right. I'm going to redo that in a minute. I can get down here, I'm going to drop shot with it, I think. I literally caught my first ever sea fish off this ledge here at low tide. So I'm going to have a go off the corner of there when it drops off again. I'm going to have a sandwich, drink of water. It's been scorching down here. Let's see how we get on. I haven't had any bites on the bottom rod. On the first rod I put out originally on the bottom of the big bait, I had any bites. Lugworm were just coming back untouched, but we're going to keep trying with the lugworm. I might make a 2-hook flapper rig or something, we'll see anyway. Might just be a case of needing to be a little bit closer in for the wrasse. Go hold the rod and drop it down the side. That normally works quite well. We'll see. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. And getting them mackerel earlier on in the session, seems a long time ago now. I've had about another 20 pollock off camera as well. Yeah, getting them mackerel early on the session really has sort of, with the sun, crystal clear water, it's just given me a reminder of what's to come this year, and this is just the start, so it's all good. Fingers crossed though, I reckon we'll be alright for some huss later, maybe, we'll see. Well, time's kicked on a bit more. I've now got a 2-hook flapper rig on the wrasse rod. I've had a few dainty bites, they feel like wrasse. By the time I've got to the rod, they've gone. Disappointing. I've only got size 2 hooks on that. They should hook themselves, really. They usually do. Hey ho. Persevering with the big baits still. Put a nice fresh half mackerel on one. Put a bit of a smaller one on the other, smaller bait on the other. Let's see if we can tempt anything. I mean, sun's just dimmed a little bit, as you can tell by this change of the light. It's a bit oranger, not as bright as it has been all day. It's been a glorious day. I think all in I've probably had about 40 pollock, 2 mackerel. Fantastic sport on I use a pen tidal with a big fixed spool and 20-pound line. You just never know what you're going to get, do you? I know. Well, when you get 4 or 5 pollock on, you've got to be armed for the job. Unfortunately, I do like using a Dexter wedge though for pollock on a lighter setup. Don't get me wrong. I think you probably catch bigger fish like that. Just want a screamer and one at rods. I do think we will get a huss when this sun just disappears. There's like a bit of cliff here, it'll drop behind the cliff. And hopefully something positive will happen. Struggling at the minute for species. We've had the, other than getting a taupe, I think the mackerel was, we've been fairly early, mackerel was fairly high on the list to get next. Positive that I got two on, but I think we just got pollocked out then. I was getting pollock at all ranges and they were taking every hook. It happened last year on my stag do. It's not the end of the world though. You can still use them for bait. We were getting huss on pollock last year. They're nice to eat as well, so. I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed the mackerel don't seem to be as bloody as they are later on in the year. It must be because they're in spawn, I don't know. Full of roe. Should just state there's no guidelines regarding retaining mackerel or taking mackerel, just to cover myself before someone puts a comment on the video. It's fantastic, been a fantastic day. But like I say, it's just disappointing that we haven't had a few more species to show for it. I've still got, I'll just see what time it is. I ain't going anywhere till midnight, I once I said. It's only 7:15. I think we've just got from now till dusk. It gives a chance of something decent on the bottom. Just want a screamer, I mean, for sure. I've got a dodgy lobster pot here, I don't know why it's come that close in, that is a joke. I'll spin you out. How close that is. It's not taking my lines out there. There must be some slacking rope, big time. I just hope it doesn't take any of my bottom lines out. It shouldn't do, but you never know, do you? It's almost like it's come free. I can't believe I haven't had a wrasse. Honestly, it looked nailed on for a wrasse. I was so confident. They're usually the easiest fish to catch as well. They really are. What we don't want now, we do not want to get a tote run now because that lobster pot's gone right over both my lines. It hasn't been anywhere near me all tide. Hopefully it'll pull out if the current's running that way. Hopefully when it makes contact with the rope on full stretch, it'll pull it away from the rocks. Fingers crossed. We had one last year, I think it's the same one, like ghost fishing. I'm getting a bite on my left hand rod that's right underneath it, so I'm wondering if the rope's catching my line. We'll see what happens with it. I'm sure it'll go away. We just need tide to pick up to go left, that way. It'll just take it right over there, but it's on a massive rope. I'll bring you back in a bit anyway. We'll see what happens and I'll bring you back in a bit. I don't think it'll be a problem to us, I think it'll go. Right, well not much is happening. I'm staying above the flat rock. I'll put the camera on the flat rock. But you can pretty much see the rods. Got three out, seems a little bit. Still got the glass rod to the right. I don't know if you can hear me. It's got a screaming current ripping to the right. That's going to have to change rods around. Nothing's happening. Use all my fresh mackerel. These bait ups, these last couple of bait ups. A better bite in it. Looks like I've had a bit of crab activity on the baits, to be fair. So, nay good. Not good at all. I think I can get you a bit closer actually. Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. You're a bit closer now. I don't know if it's any better. I think I've got it why it's so hard to film on these rocks, because they're just so jagged and stuff, and you know, it's finding a decent place with camera. You seldom come down when there's no breeze off the sea. That lobster pot did move out of the way, it's come back again, but it's not going to be a problem because the rope's on that side and my lines are this side, so I cannot believe I had anything on the small hooks. I really can't. I think it's shockingly bad, that. I'm hoping we'll get some huss at least in dark as we get to darkness. I mean, the last time I fished on here and I had this current raging like this to the right, I did lose a tail last July. I put a little bit of mackerel slithers on them hooks to tip the worm off with a bit of mackerel strip, if you like. Small slithers of strip. It hasn't made a difference. I should at least get a rockling on it, man. I'm amazed when I had pouting porcod, any form of wrasse, dogfish, rockling, you know, it's shockingly bad, that. I told you worm were rubbish, Paul. But again, it's on one of them tides where on days where nothing else has worked as a bait either, other than obviously the class like lures, if you like. It's not like any of my baits worked, you know, squid. I had squid, bullet tuna, fresh mackerel. The 2 pollock I've kept I'm actually going to take up because I'm back here shortly again, so keep them top my bait supply up. At least we know there's abundance of pollock, you know, and they'll be here now, right through, I'd imagine. In the mackerel cavity there was nothing in its guts, in the guts at all, no sandy. Oh, not bad. Something's just had a bit play with my bait or swam into my line or something. Rod just went like that, this one closest to us. Yeah, there were no sand eel or anything in the mackerel cavity. Might just be a fluke to I'd expect to come back when I come back in a couple of weeks' time. I don't think I'll catch any. Could be wrong. It might take me a couple of tides to get them. It's just how it goes, isn't it? You know, there's probably more pollock about at the moment than mackerel. Been looking some weird stuff off the seabed, some sort of, I don't know what it is. I've never been around the grip wires. Never. It's happened 2 or 3 times. I don't know if anyone knows what the scientific name is for that stuff. It's got barnacle. It's got some barnacle. It's obviously attached to. I'm getting a bite actually on this right hand rod. Go on, son. Go on. Yeah, sometimes on here, as soon as that light fades, things start happening. Now the water's been very clear. We're definitely getting some interest. I don't know if it's worth hitting it or not, that's the trouble. It's not the trouble. Yeah, let's just see if there's let's just see. I've actually got a pennel rig on this with a circle at the back. It's just some old rigs I'm using. Wait, ratchet that line on that will. Just hold it, Rod. I'd try and get you more on camera, but it's the angle of the lines. Typically it was stopped. On here usually, if you're going to get huss and stuff, you get a bang over low tide. You get more of a low tide, should I say. Still got like 2 or 3 hours to load. Stop that now. Sweet. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll reel into it to see if there's something on it because I'm snagged it, but I'm going to leave it. I was just thinking that there's a bit of conger. Let's see if there's anything else. I'll put it back up my rest, obviously, and we'll see if anything else happens. It's annoying. It's usually good for a conger. Well, it just went again. I'm sure it did. There's definitely something looking about. It looks like a conger bite to me. Let's see what happens. When I had it in my hand, it didn't. She's coming, I think. Got stuck again. It come and then it got stuck. Come on. I moved it about 3 foot. Could have been fully swivel. Could have actually been fully swivel that. Yeah, moving along. Sometimes you give me a bit of slack like that. There's something on it. A bit of conger. Absolutely nailed on. Small conger. That's going to snag and I'm going to lose everything. Just going to keep the line of pull. I just don't want to break it. Feels like I'm going to break. Nope, we're not. Fish is on as well, I can feel it. There's nothing on. I don't think there's anything on it. It is, it's only small. Them small congers can get an A2. No Shaughnessy down, no problem there. At least I've got my gear back though. But we are quite pinned to this right hand side now with this rock because there's no on it. It was just my lead that was stuck. By the looks. Something's had to go at the bait, definitely. But, oh well, oh dear. It wasn't a very good bite by any means, but you don't want a conger just sat on your bait, do you? A small conger, you want to be fishing, don't you? Basically. So, yeah, disappointing that. We'll get a fresh bait put out. We'll have another go. Oh, there's a bit of a mess actually. It's twisted, it suggests there could have been a conger on there. I need to get a new adventure, just that weak link line on the lead to break out every time. I think I've lost one rig on the big baits today. I lost a couple on the RAS rig, but obviously if I fish it close in, there's every chance we will do. Anyway, we'll get this sorted and we'll have another go. Fish on the flapper rig. I just thought before I start lead, I'll let this current ease up a bit because I've got that lobster pot smack bang in front of me. Look, thought I'd reel this in. That's what happens when you put fish on, isn't it, on your rigs? You get a doggy. So we'll get rebaited and have another go with this. But at least we've got a fish on it finally. I'm just getting a bite on this rod, just to get some footage for you. Before you strike, put your reel into gear. Certainly something on it. I only put a small. It's coming. Only get a delicate bite. Go into something that's one. At least I thought it was. Might be a conger, might it? A bending double rod there. And it was coming. moved it about 6 to 8 foot possibly. Sometimes when you just give it a bit of slack, it comes free. It's well and truly locked in. Disappointing. Yeah, I've got a 6.0 on this with 4. I think with a 7.0 circle up behind it. So I just put a small piece of squid on. I was hoping, like it's a full squid, but it was only a small one. I was hoping I might pick something else up. It's annoying, this is. Just bear with me a minute, guys. I'm just going to put the rod on the rod rest and try and pull the line. I definitely got it moving a bit. Felt like something, possibly a conger. Give me a minute. You know what, coming up here, it started moving again. Oh. Just got the other line slightly. Just a sec. It come free then when I was walking back. Locked again. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry about this. Yeah, so again we're pulling for a break by the looks of it. Or at least pulling to try and maybe free the lead out of the snag and land the fish, but it feels like it's jammed. There's something on it though, definitely. Just a sec. I've got it moving now. It feels like half decent this. It's got to be a conger. Can't imagine what else it could be. Locked into it now though. It's dead weight. It's either a conger or a spider crab or a horse. But there's some weight to it. That's what I will tell you. We want a small squid bait, really small really. We were a full squid, but in comparison to what I've been using, it's small. It feels like a conger to me. It's up in the water. I'm surprised if it's a horse. Difficult to tell, isn't it? It's a bit freer now. It's a conger. Oh no, you're going to laugh at this. For all that, it's a dogfish. What the hell was that all about? It must be tide run making it feel like it's heavier than what it is. But at least you've got a fish on camera. Yeah, only a small doggy. Second one of the session. So I can get it out without the pliers. And we need to just get the pliers. I'll just snook him, then I'll bring him down and you can have a look at him. Got him, guys. Can't see there being much else out there tonight. I've just caught my finger on the circle when I pulled the hook out of him as well. Karma for the dogfish, that, isn't it? That's him. Put my finger on a circle hook. Yeah, so hopefully there's the start of some fish feeding. We need a rockling now. I've had pouting darts as well. The other rod, it has been going a bit, right in between Certainly doing a bait change on one of these and reeling that fish in. But I'm enjoying myself now, obviously. I'm hoping for a nearly toe. I don't think that's going to happen. But at least I've caught some fish now. Even if it was just two doggies, it's better than no, isn't it? So, and I got it on camera as well, so get this rebaited. I'll have a go see if we can get something else. Well, not a lot's happening, guys. Probably just going to give it, I'm going to tidy up, I think, and pack up unless something happens in the meantime. I'm going to put all my gear in my bag. I'll put the woods down, I think. It's been very dead on bottom today. I'm absolutely devastated, honestly. I haven't had any wrasse or anything earlier in session. I'm delighted I've had the mackerel, delighted with what pollock I've caught. But don't worry, episode 10 is going to lead on to some tomorrow, I think, Sunday, so we may have a go for some wrasse tomorrow somewhere else. We will see. So we'll see you in the second half of this episode 10. I've said 10 species, I've got 3 so far. I've got some catching up to do, haven't I? It's madness, crazy. Yeah, I'm going to chuck everything in my bag and drink Robs, I think. Well, I'm going to chuck everything in my bag, have a drink, have a bite to eat, and drink Robs in. At Porth is Scadden. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. It's got a couple more hours of it going out yet. I've just put a few flapper rig out with the good old trusty black lug. Just put it about there-ish, just off these rocks. Shoes are good for wrasse. I've had rockling, and I've seen flatfish on the sand. Just sort of in this area here when I've been snorkeling. I've never actually caught a flatfish up here. There's dogfish as well. Obviously we're after a wrasse or a rockling or a flatty. Going home this evening, so see what happens. That breeze is a bit fresh. It's blowing southwesterly now. It's probably about 8 to 10 mile an hour. But we'll see what happens. Just got one rod out. That's all I brought. Minimal tackle. Just going to put this black lug back in the box before it blows away. Got me board. We'll need to use it in a bit. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to be staying till on this last bait. I'm selling my second bait up. I put quite a lot of work on there. Just the last look. It's a bit exposed. No bites at Porth this Scadden, so I'm moving to Porth Coleman. Just picking some refreshments up from a cafe up way. not even a bite. It's a bit more snaggy at Porth, Coleman. You can get closer to rocks and stuff off the actual beach. We've been a bit uncomfortable with that bruise in our faces at Porth Iscaden. These wrasse, the wrasse are usually the easiest species to get round here. Well, it's proving the hardest this weekend. So, fingers crossed something shows. You can get rockling here as well. Dogfish. What have I had here? I've had flounder. I've had one flounder over the years. I've had pollock, freshwater eel. I've had shore rockling. I've had corking wrasse. I've had ballan wrasse. I think I've had out else. Oh, I had one bass once as well. So, fingers crossed. We'll see. Take two, then. Porth Coleman. Out the wind complete. See how flat the water is in front. The southwest is just whipping around the corner of this point. You can see how the water ripples a bit in the wind, but it's nice and flat. So again, it's another good spot for micro species and stuff. Like I say, I've mentioned what species I had here myself. It usually does. I've had some nice wrasse up here, I have. Fishing multi-up rigs like that. There's always a chance, isn't there? It'd just be nice just to get something. We're about to have a low tide, I think, now, so it's a lot warmer here than what it was in Porth Iscaden. Porth Iscaden's like over there. I don't know if you can still zoom in. You can just about make out a building on the top of the cliff. There. It's Porth Iscaden. So that's how far we've just come. We've got Penlec to our right. The beach. Penlec. Just here. Just a bit of a waiting game. First bait up, only about 2 minutes. I might have a look in these, some of these weeds, see if there's any crab anywhere. Peelers. There must be a peel. I'm sure there's a peel that starts here in May. I suppose it depends on temperature and stuff though, doesn't it? I've found them in May before. We'll see what happens anyway. I'll have a look, mooch about. Rain now, just put a second bait up out. Probably just give it, that might be the last one. Just trying obviously to try and get that wrasse, but no action on first bait up. We'll see how it goes. It's raining, like I say. If this rain stops, we'll stay for a bit longer. I've had a look for some crabs. I found 300 at first rock I lifted up, but they weren't. They're all hardbacks. Yeah, it's usually good for wrasse on here. I'm just wondering if the water temperature's still a bit down, even though we've had the first mackerel of the year. Might have just been a fluke. We'll see. I'll top it into another bait up. These baits have just been out for 20 minutes and there's not even been touched. I've just slid them down my snooze and just put full worm on each one and cast it a bit further out there. But that is going to be it for this weekend, I think. We'll see if we can get a fish. I'm trying my hardest here. I'm just going to put 3 full worm. Well, just going to bulk them baits up a bit, I think. See what happens. Well, last reeling. Cast it a bit further out this one. Got a lot of loose weed on the bed, that's on the seabed, that's all. And it keeps wrapping around the bird. I might have had a couple of knocks on this, I don't know. I got my gear back anyway. I don't think there's anything on it. You'd think quality worm like that, you'd get plenty of small fish when it was small hooks, wouldn't you? It's not been happening. Just don't like the bottom hook's got a fish on it. No chance. Untouched again. that'll be it, unfortunately. So from Porth, Coleman, it's not been, I was hoping for 10 species in episode 10. I ended up with 3 and only 1 qualifies. So I've already got the other 2. Bit difficult to take that one. I've tried really hard. I mean, it don't knock me down too much because I know that we will have days where we do get a decent number of species. The one I didn't really expect to get was a mackerel. There's bits of worm in the sea. So I was very surprised about that. I thought I'd easily got a ballan wrasse, maybe a cuckoo wrasse, pouting and porcod. For whatever reason, we didn't. Even when it got dark yesterday, the last bait up there I had with the small hooks, I thought it might have produced something different, but it hadn't done. So just take the opportunity to say thanks to everybody that subscribed to the channel. Sorry that we haven't caught a few more fish. I don't think it's need to feel too downhearted about it. I mean, I must have had up at least 40 pollock yesterday. It's not really to be sniffed at, is it? I think I've just been spoilt down here sometimes, that's all. Other than that, I'm going to get off. Thanks again for our subscribers. Marcus, Link and Jay, I've tried my hardest. Hasn't quite happened. There'll be better days, better weekends than this. It's been a good start to the year, I'd say. Yesterday was a reminder of what's to come, I think, in the next coming months. Just a little reminder of what's going to happen. So, other than that, keep safe, tight lines, I'll see you later.